Hi everybody, thank you Yoti for giving me this chance to talk about a really fantastic project that we were lucky enough to do together with some other colleagues from across different countries who are all interested in gardening research in some way. And we did this work in the first sort of 18 months of the COVID pandemic, when people were locked down in their homes at a sort of a peak time for a lot of countries. And that work was really a great big survey. We had about 3,000 responses or more, that we each then took on a component of the survey results to work with a little bit more, and that's what I'm going to talk about today, the part that I looked at. And I was interested in the fact that when people were given the opportunity to talk a little bit about how they experienced their garden during this time and what they valued, a lot of people were talking not so much about the physical acts of gardening or the security of being in a yard, although those things were very important. People were also talking about what we might call the non-material benefits, the precognitive experiences of gardening, like the things that we sense, the feelings that we have, things that we notice about our state of mind, or some might call it the spiritual component of gardens and gardening. This is this is not new for gardens and gardening. History and mythology is full of this sort of thing, but it was interesting that we were hearing people talk about similar things in contemporary times during a pandemic. So basically, I looked at some of the qualitative results, and then as a team we analysed what these findings were. And there were three really key things that stood out. The first was that people were having these sort of heightened experiences of beauty, of solace, of freedom, and peace. The second one was that they were sensing a greater attunement to nature, and not just the garden space, but to nature more broadly, feeling more of a connection just from the time spent in the garden. And the third one was that it was generating this sense that people wanted to care for not only their garden, but also their community and nature and the planet more generally. And these things have been evident in research in other places. This work is published in a paper called Birds Felt Louder, and that title comes from a statement that somebody made, that it was like the birds were louder, at least it felt like that. And then we've sort of run with that to think about this idea that we felt the birds more loudly. So I've deliberately sat under a tree to talk to you today, but I'm also in my front yard, so there's a lot of noise out here. Anyway, please get in touch if you want to know more about this work, and have a look up for that paper. It's in Wellbeing, Space and Society. Thanks everyone, bye.